If you struggle with shopping addiction, don't worry, you're not the only one, and there is help to help us curb those temptations. Hi guys, welcome back to Hoarders Heart. On this episode, I'm going to be going over tips and tricks that help me recover in my shopping addiction. I don't really talk about it too much, but in my 20s, especially my college years, I had a shopping addiction. As soon as I got a paycheck, I blew it all. And I also got approved for charge cards, and I racked up a lot of charge card debt. Now, in my 20s, I realized that this was a problem. I didn't want to live like this, and I knew in a couple of years I was going to be married and have kids, and I wanted to be home with my kids. So I decided to take action back then in my 20s, and I'm glad that I did now, and I was able to pay off $10,000 worth of credit card debt back then. But I want to share now those tips and tricks that still work for me now, because that shopping addiction, though it's under control, it doesn't go away. So I just wanted to share my tips and hope that this helps other people who kind of struggle with shopping addictions too. Now, this video was inspired by our vacation when we were down the shore on the boardwalk, because there was just so much temptation to buy things. And yes, it was our vacation, and each of us had a cash envelope budgeted out for vacation where we could shop and enjoy our special things that we love down the shore. And we had a reasonable amount of spending cash, nothing over the top. Most of it was like birthday money that we had saved because we knew we had our favorite shops down on the Ocean City boardwalk. Now, my boys did amazing. They didn't even spend half of that money, but they did purchase things that they did enjoy. Now, they didn't buy this Oreo thing. Brandon just wanted to show it because we thought it was really adorable, but we did not bring it home. However, for myself, I could really feel some of that old shopping addiction kick in when we were here. Even though I had my allotted cash and I promised myself I wasn't going to go over it, I could feel the temptation of just putting it on my charge card. This is a temptation once again because we're a lot financially better than we were years ago when we were financially strapped and I couldn't buy all the things that I loved. But honestly, I don't need all of this, and I found myself having to go back to those old coping mechanisms in my 20s to prevent myself from shopping. And the first thing I had to remind myself is what my financial goal was and the reason why I'm saving money. And one of the reasons that I'm taking action now is because I really truly want to do Hoarders Heart full time. This is my passion. This is my passion, explaining hoarding disorder and being able to help people understand the mentality behind it. So now I have my goal. I have my why. Just like in my 20s when I wanted to stay home when my boys were babies and toddlers. Now that they're older, I want to be able to follow my passion, what I'm called to do, and that is to humanize hoarding disorder. So now that I have my motivation in place, there's also something else that really helped me, and it was in college that I had learned this. Now look at how cute this is. I love this seashell container and basically everything that's in this store. Now, when I was in college, I attended this lecture that literally helped me change my shopping addiction. And that was, when you get that shopper's high, that dopamine hits its peak in your brain in the anticipation of buying the item. So the moment that I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. I love this. I want to buy that. That moment is when that rush has hit its peak. And by the time you carry it, put it in your hands, start walking to the register, that dopamine peak is already falling and falling fast. And by the time you come home, it doesn't have that initial excitement that you had when you anticipated
buying it. That's why there's always a lot of advice of if you want to buy something, kind of sleep on it, see how you feel about the next day, because 9 times out of 10, you don't really have that same feeling that you initially had. It's kind of weird how it kind of disappears. But that other 10%, yeah, if you still really love it a lot, then they say go ahead and purchase it. But for this video, what I learned to do is in the moment, if I'm in a store, when I first feel that dopamine rush, I can just be in the moment of it because I know that that feeling is going to be fleeing. So I can see something that I'm like, wow, I really love this. This is really pretty. I can just be in the moment of loving that dopamine rush, feeling really good, enjoying it, but just window shop, just keep looking, just being in that moment, enjoying how artisans created like this beautiful jewelry and different items. I can just be in the moment of enjoying the dopamine rush without actually purchasing it and bringing it home. And if I truly, truly love it that much, then I do have the opportunity of coming back in the next day or two to actually purchase it. And I can honestly say that 90 to 95% of the time, I do not go back to purchase the item. It's more self-soothing from when I'm in the moment and I feel that desperation of I have to buy it now. Well, no, you don't, because it'll be there in a couple of days if you truly still feel this way about something. And that was one of the tools that I used on vacation. Even when I had my spending money, I was able to stay under budget and not use my charge card. I could just be in the moment and really enjoying what I wanted, and that was experiences for the kids and the family.
Okay, I'm in Hobby Lobby now on a Saturday afternoon, so I'm trying to be quick because it's kind of crowded in here. Now, here's all the beautiful fall stuff, right? And I'm getting excited because it's just so pretty, right? But I know that right now, if I love this, this is the heightened of that dopamine rush that I'm talking about. This is the peak of those chemicals that I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. I know where I can put it. It makes me feel so good, especially because the fall stuff is a trigger for me because I mourn summer, right? Like I love summer so much and I almost kind of grieve it like when summer's done. But the fall is a coping mechanism because I love the fall decor. It's so pretty. So it kind of helps when I'm sad when summer ends. But because I know that the dopamine rush has already peaked the moment I anticipated on buying this and it's already starting to go down, I can now kind of put it back and I can just be in the moment of those happy, like in dopamine rush. And I don't know if you can hear the people in the back, but that's what happens when you come to Hobby Lobby on a Saturday afternoon. Sorry I had to cut that short, but the lady was just talking to her friend so loudly and you could like hear her on my mic, like it was overpowering my voice. Welcome to Jersey. Now, this is the advice I give when you have to go into a store, right? In the beginning, I'm going to suggest that you stay out of your trigger stores, but there's going to come a time when you got to go in there and grab something. You can't avoid shopping altogether. And I don't want you going in there with like shopper's withdrawal and just be like, I haven't shopped in 3 months, I'm gonna buy everything, because that's a temptation too. I wanted to tell you guys this so when you do have to go into the store, it's just another tool to help you curb that shopping addiction. And another very important tool that I used was the no spend challenge. I started that in my 20s because, again, I heard it somewhere in a lecture about doing no spend challenges. And I started off easy. I started off with 1 day a week that I was going to spend absolutely positively no money. I wasn't picking up a coffee or an iced tea. I wasn't buying lunch. I wasn't even paying a bill. I kept it as absolutely nothing went out of my bank account. Then 1 day grew to 2 days, And 2 days grew to 3 days, and of course 3 to 4, until eventually I started making these no spend challenges. I enjoy drawing and bullet journaling, so this was enjoyable for me to create and be able to track my no spend days. Now, I haven't created one of these in a while, and it's starting to reflect in my bank account. So we're going to restart doing these no spend challenges again, because I'll always have that shopper's high and experience it, but now I have the tools to modify those behaviors. I understand the triggers underneath of it. I also understand how my brain works when I feel that shopper's high. And creating my no spend challenge keeps me accountable so I can keep track of how many days I'm not spending any money. And this is what my September 2022 no spend challenge looks like. Now, what I'm going to do is I color in the days that I spend absolutely positively no money. What I do is on Sunday, I will plan that week out. So I'll decide which days are going to be no spend days, where I spend absolutely no money at all, not even on bills, not even on gas. On the days that I am going to spend money, that's when I go grocery shopping, fill up the tank, pay bills, get what I need to get for the week. And then I create easy rules for me to follow, more like abundance rules. And also my goal is 15 out of 30 days. That's very practical and easy for me to achieve. And if you would like a free PDF of the September No Spend Challenge, please email me at hoardersheart@gmail.com and I will email a printable copy for you. So those are the tools that I use to help me recover in my shopping addiction. And my hope and my prayer is that this video helps give you tips to feel more abundant in your life and to feel more peaceful and grateful. Because when you feel that, the need to shop just seems to disappear.